Hello and welcome to Flo's Crafty Crochet. Today we're going to be looking at a new stitch designed by Sue of AuburnCraft Crochet Design. It's called a reverse surface slip stitch double crochet. What this stitch does is provides this lovely little edging that you see here. It's a beautiful and simple edging to add a little bit of texture and a little bit of interest to any blanket or border, and that's what we're going to have a wee look at today. So whatever yarn you're working with will be great for doing this project. I'm just using a little bit of double knit cotton that I have here. I'm just going to take this stitch marker out so we can get started. So for this project I'm actually starting in a corner. So the first thing I'm going to do, because these corners are made up of a chain 5, so I'm going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm also then going to place my stitch marker back into the third chain, 1, 2, 3. And the reason I do that is when I come round, that's where I'm going to slip stitch into to finish my round off. So I just find, for me, if I put a stitch marker in there, it's an easy reminder. I don't have to count and I'm just able to put my stitch in. So just to finish off this first corner, I'm just going to put a double crochet into the corner. And that's me done. So now we're ready to look at this new stitch. So for the first one, because there's no stitch to actually work off, we're just going to go around the top of the double crochet just made. So bring your hook backwards around the back of the post of the double crochet, pull your yarn through, so you'll have 2 loops on your hook, put your yarn over, 3 loops on the hook, and go into the top of your first stitch. Pull your yarn through as you would do normally with a double crochet, put your yarn over and take off 2, put your yarn over and take off all 3. So after you've taken off all the 3 loops, you'll see that this little line has formed. So this is our normal stitch here, and then this little bar has come. This bar is very important for our reverse surface slip stitch, and this is the bar that we're looking for. So now to create our next stitch, what we're going to do is we're going to put our hook on top of that bar and through the back of the stitch. So if you can see, I'm putting my hook on top of that little bar, I'm putting it through the stitch and out the other side. I'm taking my yarn through, I'll have 2 loops on, putting the yarn over, and I'm going into my next stitch, pulling the yarn through. I now have 4 loops. You put the yarn over, take off 2, put the yarn over, take off the 3 that are remaining. And you can see there's our bar has formed again. So I'm going to just repeat that again. I'm going to put my hook in on top of the bar and out through the stitch, pull the yarn through, 2 loops, put the yarn over into the next stitch, pull my yarn through, 4 loops, put the yarn over again, take off 2 as you normally would with a double crochet, put the yarn over, take off all 3. So you can see that this little T-bar is starting to create the whole way across, and that's what we're looking for. So I'm just going to keep working in onto that little bar and creating my double crochet then as I normally would. So if you're looking at this and you're looking for UK terms, this would be a treble in UK terms. So in on top of the bar, pull your yarn through, yarn over, in you go, 1 and 2. So I want you to continue that on the whole length of your work until you get to the corner. So I'll meet you back at the corner. And so we're right now, and I only have 1 more stitch to complete here. So I'm just going to finish off my last stitch. And then I'm going to slip stitch to the top of the chain 3 where I have my little stitch marker. I'm just going to slip stitch in there. I'm going to take the stitch marker out, and that completes the round. So what you'll see has started to happen is that you'll have been creating this little ridge that runs the whole way around. So if you wanted to, I'm sure you could probably just end off like that with that little ridge, but the real magic happens now in this second row whenever we really make the stitches pop. As I said, this is designed by Sue Stapleton of AuburnCraft Crochet Designs. It's it's a very clever stitch, and I'm very excited to see the end product, the whole blanket that she has actually created. It's very beautiful, and it's a tribute to a friend that we lost earlier this year. as I say, please keep an eye out for it. I'll drop all the links to both the AuburnCraft Crochet Design store and my own Facebook groups and things like that in the comments section if you want to give it a wee check out. So we're going to complete the rest of this reverse surface slip stitch. So it's actually been done, so the stitch itself has been created. So this is now our next row, and this is where the stitch is going to pop out. So I've done my chain 5, and I'm going to pop my wee stitch marker back in just so that I know exactly, without having too much fuss, where to put my final slip stitch. And then I'm going to put my other part of finish my other part of the corner with the double crochet just in there. So then this time working round, you'll see now I've got a lot of loops newly created. So we have this loop at the front, that's the little bar that we were working in on the top. And then here's our actual stitch here, so with our 2 loops. So we're not looking to go into both of those loops. We're only looking for this row to work into that back loop only. So you're just looking for the back loop each time you're going. So I find, especially if you're a beginner, sometimes it can be very hard to see where those loops actually are. So I find if you take your work between your finger and your thumb and you rotate it slightly towards you, you'll see the V's at the top. So if you were doing your stitch normally, you would put your hook in and you would lift up both loops. This loop here is your front loop. We're not looking for this one. We're looking for the one that's at the back. So just if you want to take your work, bring it towards you, and you'll always easily be able to find your back loops then to work into. So we're just going to work some of these, and hopefully you'll be able to see this lovely stitch starting to pop out. So we're just going to work back loops and double crochet the whole way across. So you see, as I'm pinching that, it becomes very easy just to see where that back loop is. So it's kind of like pinch and turn it towards you, and then just work that back loop. And what you'll start to see as you're starting to work this final row is that that stitch is taking on the surface slip stitch effect. So without you having to actually go back in and do the work. So it's a really neat trick, and in the long run it'll save you a lot of time. So that's me almost round. I'm just going to finish the last couple of double crochets. And there's my slip stitch into the stitch marker. I'm just going to take that off and snip my yarn. So you can see that this beautiful reverse surface slip stitch gives you a lovely effect without having to do too much work. You know, it's effectively creating 2 stitches in one without you having to go back in over the top and create this lovely little edge. It provides a beautiful simple border to whatever you're working on. As I said earlier, this is actually one of the features in AuburnCraft Crochet Design's new blanket. It's going to be called Become a Dragonfly, Cindy Rose, as a tribute to a late friend of ours. It's a project very close to my heart, and of course to Sue's as well. And hopefully, you know, you'll see it and you know, you'll just be blown away. I've never seen anything like it. It's really quite unique. As with all AuburnCraft Crochet Designs patterns, they are very, very unique. And as I said earlier, I will put a little link to all of these in the comment section. If you've liked today's video and you'd like to see a little bit more from Flo's Crafty Crochet, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button so that you'll be able to see content whenever it comes out. Thanks very much, and hopefully see you again soon.